Hey guys, I'm not in the best mood right now. I don't even have a title for this video. I'm just doing this out of here, out of right here. Now, this may seem weird, but YouTube is really just a voice for people, and I'm a person. I don't really want to say this out, but okay. I just realized I'm wearing an AC/DC shirt, but today's not a good day. So recently, I was just looking up AC/DC stuff online. I'm doing a surprise, but it involves AC/DC, so I just typed their name into Google. And first, what I uncovered was this: that the Rocker Bus Tour, which I was the luckiest person in the world to get to see, the American Airlines here in Dallas, is going to be canceled. The 10 shows are going to be rescheduled and cancel the rest of them because Brian Johnson has hearing loss, and the doctor has said that if he stops touring, he will lose his hearing forever. Which would make me super upset. I'm like, oh my god, no. But apparently they're gonna reschedule. But I don't know. I think there was hope that if he stops touring and lets himself heal and rest, that's what I understood from him. He can still tour. But the thing that really struck me was most likely with a guest vocalist, which AC/DC should never have a guest vocalist. It's either Brian Johnson, or nothing. I mean, people had a hard time swallowing the pill. People to this day still think AC/DC died with Bon Scott, which is not true. AC/DC is still very much alive, but to replace Brian Johnson now, that's crazy. So I thought, well, maybe Brian will get better. It's happened before. I mean, the Black Ice World Tour got canceled a couple times. Once because Brian had to go to a funeral. The other time because he had to get surgery on his throat. And then he played the rest of the tour. That's a year and a half tour. This has only been like a year, and they're doing great. I saw them last month. They were amazing. They still play great. So that's not the thing that really bothers me. What bothers me is what I found out not even an hour later. Basically, digging around some more, I got another news saying Brian Johnson feels kicked out of the curb. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So apparently, his friend and U.S. comedian Jim something, I don't fucking know, said he met with Johnson at his house, and apparently that's not the case. What happened was after he had to stop the tour. Well, not stop the tour, but I mean, during the rest, they take 3 days rest now. During the rest, he went to visit his he didn't want to visit. I'm sorry. He went to a funeral with one of his best friends, and now he had to bury him. And now he went to do the exam, and the doctor said, "You've lost like a couple decimals, which is okay if you're like in your 30s. But you're 67. This could be life-threatening. Like not life-threatening, but like here you can lose hearing completely. And now you're about to play indoor shows, which put so much pressure on your ear. I'm not. You're an adult. You decide." So Brian, being like, "Well, I just gotta tell the band." He tells the band, and he tries to contact them, saying, "Hey guys," I call him. It's like, basically, I got this problem. You want to work it out? Hey, I got this problem. You want to work it out, boys? Yeah, like I can't really do his voice, but anyway. So what happens later is what's heartbreaking to me. These guys have been in a band for 30. He's been in the band for 36 years. They're like the bestest of friends. You can tell they're great friends. I've seen interviews with them. Angus and Brian are always laughing, talking to each other like the greatest of friends. Then all of a sudden, once he tells them, he gets no response. Instead, he reads in the papers that Brian Johnson tour is canceled. He's going deaf. He didn't even get one notice about it. He had to figure it out in the press. Turns out, all he needed was a second opinion. When he got that second opinion, is he can play outdoors. So he said, maybe I can do a couple shows. But apparently, according to him, Angus Young didn't respond. And the weirdest part is that all his luggage, he lives in Florida. So they were touring the United States. So all his luggage got shipped all the way to his house on his driveway. All his luggage for the tour. So basically, apparently they don't want him on the tour anymore. And to get even worse, there's speculation that they've already got someone to finish out the tour. And Johnson is very keen on believing that Angus really wants to continue without him since he wants to do the band for another 10 years, do another album, do another tour, and then apparently, according to him, Angus fears that his hearing won't let them do that. So this is how he's apparently kicked them out of the band because he's going deaf, which it's a punch to the gut in me. I'm the biggest AC/DC fan ever. That's not a exaggeration. I literally spent the entire. I went to South Padre Island. That's why I haven't made a video. I spent the entire trip listening to AC/DC. I listened to AC/DC in my head all the time. Like when I work to make hours go by quick, I literally just listen to AC/DC in my head. Like I know all their songs by memory. I can listen to every album by memory. I I've only been to two of their shows in Dallas because one, I'm only 20. AC/DC's been around since 1973. They toured here in 1996. I was 1 year old. They toured here in 2000. I was 5 years old. I don't even know what music was about that time. Well, in 2008, when around the age of 12, 13, I became the biggest fan. Angus Young is one of the reasons I picked up a guitar. I want to be a musician, or not be a musician. I want to be a filmmaker, but just play music. And they've always brought me up, man. I can just listen to AC/DC at the saddest point of my life. There's nothing better than their simple rocking riffs, their great lyrics, their funny double entendres, Brian or Bond's voice crouching, and Angus just being a monster. And like when I see him live, I saw these great guys like Angus just shredding away. He's still a monster, man. No one can beat that little guy. 5'2" and still cannot play anybody. Brian, man, he's so full of life. And to hear that his friend found him depressed and thinking that his friends abandoned him is probably one of the worst things I could ever hear about AC/DC. It's almost as AC/DC has gone through so much right now. They've gone through more than I have. Like, their first singer was their closest friend. One of their close friends died. This happened to me too, but it was my grandpa. And there's a difference between a close friend dying so young and a grandpa. Grandpas, you have to no offense to anybody's grandpa, but one day your grandpa's not gonna be there anymore. So I still can't I still can't get over it, but I knew it was gonna happen. But for them, their friend just died one day. One day they're there, and then one day they're next, which I can understand is more heartbreaking. So they're both. I'm still very much miss my grandfather, but at least I know he didn't die. He didn't die young. He died now older, living his life. Bon Scott had so much in front of him, but he threw it away for drinking and died, which was horrible because everybody in AC/DC is like the nicest guy you'll ever meet. Bon Scott was an amazing and nice guy. He had vices, and he died because of them, which is the saddest thing I can think of. And he was a young person. He was only 33. My grandfather died, but at least he's resting now, and so is Bon Scott. So now Brian Johnson has been their singer for years and years, and if they did this, that's nothing like AC/DC. I've seen Angus Young in interviews and everything. He seems like the nicest guy ever. Him and like I said, him and Brian seem like they're like the best of friends. Like the whole thing. They look like they're inseparable. But to think, apparently this is Angus's doing, that is Angus's idea, because apparently he talked to Angus and Angus didn't say anything, and that he wants to continue a band with or without Brian, which sounds nothing like Angus. Apparently with Malcolm's illness, who has dementia, they asked him if he wanted to stop. They all said, "Do you want to stop?" He said, "No, let's keep going," and they kept going. This doesn't sound like Angus to just say, "Oh, you're losing hearing? You want to keep playing the band? Oh no, get out of the band." No, that's not Angus at all. So I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on, but all I can hope is that this is an overblown story, because you know what happened last time? Someone who says they know the band, that the band has a pact that if they one of them that can't be in the band anymore, they will retire forever. Well, guess what? AC/DC didn't retire in 2014. They kept going. Now it's 2 years later almost, and apparently some guy now saying that, oh, Brian Johnson can't hear and Angus Young and what comes out of the band just because he can't hear. That doesn't sound true either. But what really gets me is that if it is true that one of my idols, Angus Young, isn't as good of a person I thought he was. I always talk so highly about Angus Young. I always see him as this amazing little guy who never drank once in his life, except one time just because it was a party and it was his brother's daughter's birth, who she was barely born. Never did drugs, never did anything stupid in his life. He was just a guy who loved rock and roll, went on stage and gave it his all and made millions of people happy and gave some amazing riffs with his brother. That's how we saw him, as one of the nicest people you ever meet. Knowing that if this is true, then that just really destroys my image of him as a guy who just wants to keep making AC/DC. I know you want to keep AC/DC going, but you can't just do that to a friend. They could have at least tried. They could have at least tried to work things out according to how Brian wanted to, but according to his friend, that didn't happen. I guess you guys can kind of tell I'm very sad right now. Usually in my videos I'm like very excited. My head has not moved from here to here. It's just been like this the whole time. I am very upset and sad right now. I'm just thinking. I just brought up the death of my grandpa. Of course, I'm upset. And it's Bon Scott. Well, I've never met Bon Scott. I love my grandpa more than anything. So I'm more upset about my grandpa. I'm just saying that these guys have been through a lot too. They lost a best friend. Angus has lost his brother, and now they're going to lose Brian because of a stupid miscommunication that Brian is going deaf. Now, apparently Angus wants him out, which doesn't sound like Angus, which I hope it isn't Angus, really. Because from what I hear, Angus doesn't really run things. He just writes the music. Like, the people who even run the website aren't them. They just kind of announce the shows there. Like, when you read all that stuff on the website, that's all their PR. So Angus himself didn't get on the keyboard and start writing, hey guys, you gotta reschedule the tour. Brian's losing his hearing. Bye now. We're gonna get a new singer. No one said that. And Brian doesn't even say that he knows he got a singer. He says he feels like he heard someone say, that's an actual quote, that they hired someone new. So I am hoping this is not true. I am hoping this is not true. Brian Johnson deserves better than this. Angus Young is a much better person than this. And if it is true, I don't know what's gonna happen to me. I'm gonna be sad. I still love AC/DC forever. I'm gonna still keep this shirt. I'm still gonna listen to their music, buy their albums, go to their tours. I'm gonna be very upset with Angus Young. It is how poorly he handled a friend, which I really don't think that's true. These guys are like brothers now. He's been in 36 years. You can tell I'm hitting like I said, man. I brought up the death of my grandpa. I'm just saying that all this stuff is just so depressing to me. Oh my god. I was in a good mood today. I don't know. I was in such a great mood, and then this happened, and I just had to make a video about it because, really, AC/DC is important to me. AC/DC is a very important part of my life. I know it sounds stupid that some old guy in a schoolboy uniform playing the guitar with some old guy singing loudly, like growling and singing at the same time is an important part, but they are. They're important to a lot of people. They inspire me to do greatness. Angus came from a poor family to want to do rock and roll, and then he supported his family with all that. And now he's supporting his own family, his wife. And it just makes me want to go forward and make music and do my own thing and just be the best thing I can be. But hearing this news, even if it isn't true, it's probably one of the most devastating things I've heard all year. I mean, this is horrible. Like, this really brought me down. I don't understand what's going on. I mean, this does not sound like AC/DC. Angus Young would not just, well, at least what I know of him, from what I hear, that he's a really nice guy, and how much Brian and him get so along. Well, just get a message from Brian saying, "Hey, I'm losing some of my hearing. I kind of need to talk to you guys." He just says, "No, I'm just gonna kick you out of the band and send him his stuff." Because let's be real, guys. I don't think it was Angus Young who personally sent him his luggage. That's probably some guy in the PR or someone who's. There's people in charge of getting their luggage to places. No rock band is gonna be like, "Oh, god damn, I gotta carry my bag to the show." No, Angus did not personally go all the way to Florida just to put Brian Johnson's bags on his driveway. So there's got to be some inner politics in here, or that's what I'm hoping. That's the kind of limit I hope I have. Other than that, I'm just really devastated right now that if that really did happen. I don't know. I just hope all things can be sorted out and then the tour continues. I just hope Brian can actually get in contact with Angus and they work this out because it can be worked out. They've done this before. I mean, Brian's had so many medical issues in the Black Ice tour. The Black Ice tour we just went fine, but this just went out of proportion. And I think this guy's exaggerating. Like the way this guy tells a story, and then for some reason, if I feel like it's just so weird because when he tells the story, at one point he defended his story on Facebook saying, "This is just my interpretation and my remind me. Remember, I'm a comedian and a storyteller. I like to exaggerate," which is a weird way to protect your story. But really, I don't, I don't want to buy this. But all I'm reading is that Brian Johnson's depressed, that his bandmates abandoned him, and that no one has even called him asking him how's your hearing or anything. That apparently he just left the message and now he's out. That doesn't sound like AC/DC to me, and I hope it isn't. Well, I hope my 2 cents gets out there at least for you guys, but I think things will change for the better and something will happen. I still think Brian Johnson will sing for AC/DC as long as he can. They've all said they'll go as long as they can, but we'll see how this all works out.